I suspect that what we're dealing with here is that I was in fact correct, and that what I identified as unconstitutional changes to the Texas Constitution and to implementation of laws going back as long as I've been in Texas recently, but especially in September 1st of 2019, as well as updates that went into effect in January 1st of 2020, requiring confidentiality on matters up to and including the terms connected to bidding on certain contracts, as well as information about companies receiving state contracts, that what they were really doing was using children from Texas specifically, but not exclusively, as collateral in dealing with the dumping of toxic assets connected to gas and oil companies that knew that they had taken out loans that were starting to come to repayment terms this year, and that they bought the children and dumped shit on the children. And a lot of times it included intensive child pornography, and they sold it. They've exported the children. And this is something Texas periodically does. And nobody talks about it. And now it's supposed to be confidential. And it's not confidential. It's a crime. It's a high crime. And the problem is because nobody in Texas talked about it, and because people covered up for Texas. And when they did this, covered up for what they were doing in that regard, now it has been allowed to be appropriated on the federal level. And we're pretty much talking about children within the United States. Carte blanche. Did they allow for these oil and gas companies to do, as I suspected they were going to do, which was default on their loans, but try to launder it through the government of the United States long enough to hook us up biophysiologically to be their executive accounts for reapportionment by auction as a process of some sort of conservatorship or receivership following the bankruptcy of these companies? See, they've already hooked up their executive comp packages, right? This is actually before the Federal Reserve right now. They have a public comment period on executive compensation packages. My child's vagina and the vaginas of any children I taught, both in the United States or in another country, are not available for your executive compensation. These were capital charges to begin with.